So God of War Ragnarok is the most recent God of War game, but at this point it is actually about 2 years old. And when I saw that a modder actually just recently removed a very popular God of War Ragnarok mod, I was kind of wondering, like, why was it that I just pretty recently heard about God of War Ragnarok again, like it was just a few months ago? And I did actually find my answer, and it's very related to why this mod was brought down. So when God of War Ragnarok was released, it was a PlayStation exclusive, but about 4 months ago in May, a PC port was announced. This seems to be something that Sony has been doing a lot recently. You know, start the games off as a PlayStation exclusive and then 3, 4, 5 months later, or maybe a year later, you know, release it on PC. But the reason it was in the news, the reason that a lot of people were talking about it when this PC port was announced, is that this PC port would require that you log into a PSN account to play the game. Now, PSN is PlayStation Network. It's like PlayStation's equivalent of like Xbox Live. Pretty dumb, unneeded explanation probably on my part there. I've just always been an Xbox guy. So yeah, it was very odd, definitely controversial. A lot of people didn't like it. You know, why do you need to log into a PSN account to play this game that's going to be fully ported onto the PC? It's just very odd. So fast forward to just 9 days ago on September 19th, the PC port of God of War Ragnarok is dropped. Now, it must have been like day 1, day 2, something like that, that a modder known as iArtoriasUA created a mod for this game that basically bypassed the PSN requirement. Yeah, pretty awesome, especially if you just don't want to mess with the PSN requirement. I think this was an issue with Helldivers, by the way, and I think I remember hearing that like it was definitely an issue for people who didn't even have access to the PlayStation Network. I think there were weird sort of situations where people couldn't even log into the PSN based on what part of the world that they lived in. So, you know, maybe especially for stuff like that, you know, this PSN bypassing mod could really help. So assuming this dropped day 1, this would mean that this mod was just released like 9 days ago. Well, about 4 or 5 days ago, I actually remember seeing a few articles about this. Yeah, the mod had gained a fair amount of traction. It gained a lot of popularity. Well, now, as quickly as it came, it has just disappeared. Yeah, especially on the popular mod sharing website Nexus Mods, this mod was removed by iArtoriasUA. Now, just recently, just now, Nexus Mods has actually reached out to them, and they talked about why they did this. It's kind of a short paragraph, but basically, it doesn't sound like they got a sort of cease and desist by Sony or anything like that, but it would seem this was to prevent anything like that from happening in the future. Yeah, the modder basically said that they saw that the mod was getting so popular, it was getting a lot of attention, and they feared some kind of, you know, potential, maybe legal action by Sony. They said, quote, even though the project never modified anything in memory related to Sony products, but better be safe than sorry. Yeah, and I mean, I have to say, I know with a lot of these video game companies, yeah, hey, if they feel that their property is being, you know, in some way infringed upon, especially if that means they are losing out on money, they will take legal action. So I definitely understand where this modder is coming from. You know, would it be right of Sony to, you know, press legal action? I mean, you know, morally, I don't know. Who's to say? I mean, I definitely think that a mod like this is awesome, because I don't think the PSN requirement should have been a thing in the first place. But regardless, I think this modder is a pretty smart person. They saw kind of the same thing that I was saying, that, you know, hey, this could be a potential legal sort of situation, so let's just, you know, cut this cord right now. It is too bad, especially for, you know, the convenience factor that this mod created, and especially if it's true that, you know, the PSN is not available in some parts of the world. You know, if that is the case, then this mod would have actually enabled certain parts of the world to play the game. Overall, definitely too bad that this mod was brought down, but I get it. You can never be too safe with these big companies. Hopefully iArtoriasUA makes some other great mods in the future, and hopefully it doesn't, you know, potentially infringe upon any type of legal rights, you know, creating any legal situations. It's a shame that mods these days kind of have to worry about, you know, having legal action pressed against them, but that's kind of the world that we're in.